If you've ever wondered what happens when an all-American golden boy mutates into an outlaw so terrifying that prison officials allegedly welded his cell shut, this is that story. They called him Doug the Thug, a man so violent that even hardened criminals gave him space on the yard, a Hell's Angels enforcer, a rumored assassin, a straight-up berserker. And here's the twist: before all of that, he was a high school swimming champion, a model student, and the kind of kid who gave graduation speeches about the importance of reading. This is the story of Douglas Flynn Jr., a journey from small-town America to the darkest corners of California's prison system. Buckle up. This one has no safety rails. Douglas Flynn Jr. was born April 22, 1946 in Fresno, California. Shortly after, his family settled in the tiny farming town of Selma, California. By all accounts, Doug's childhood looked like something ripped straight out of Leave It to Beaver. Local newspapers followed his life like a wholesome sitcom. Birthday parties with grandparents, school events, and athletic achievements making the front page. He was polite, smart, athletic. By junior high, Doug was already standing out. He became a competitive swimmer, earning recognition at school banquets. At just 14 years old, he delivered an 8th grade graduation speech, stressing the importance of education and reading. No one, and I mean no one, could have predicted what he would become. His coaches praised discipline and grit. Classmates remembered a polite, driven kid, Selma's golden son, sharp in the pool and steady at the podium. Selma was orchards and two-lane roads, where everyone knew your name. But beneath the calm, the boy was changing. The next chapter would trade ribbons for scars, whispers for rumors. On November 11, 1959, everything shifted. 12-year-old Doug was riding a homemade four-wheeler when he failed to stop at an intersection. A car struck him, and the front wheel ran over both his legs. Both legs shattered. Doctors saved them, but people close to Doug later believed something inside him snapped during those long months in hospital beds. Pain, isolation, anger. Something dark began to take root. At 15, Doug vanished one night without explanation. He ran away at midnight and stayed gone for days. When he returned, he offered no real answers. It was the first crack in the perfect image. By 1962, Doug appeared to have bounced back. He returned to swimming, earned awards, and looked like a comeback story everyone could root for. But underneath, something was brewing. Between 1964 and 1967, Doug underwent a transformation that still defies explanation. The honor student vanished. In his place stood a Hell's Angels biker from the Daly City chapter, wearing patches, cold eyes, and a reputation that spread fast. In 1967, photographer Irving Penn captured Doug in a series of photos that introduced America to a new kind of outlaw. Former inmates would later describe him simply as a straight-up berserker. Even Sonny Barger, legendary president of the Oakland Hells Angels, called Doug the most violent man I ever knew. Doug's criminal record began small, but escalated fast. In July 1967, Los Altos police stopped him for a routine motorcycle violation. They found marijuana in his pockets and an outstanding warrant. Minor stuff. But by December 1967, Doug crossed a line. At San Jose State, Doug and another angel attacked anti-war protesters with a baseball bat and metal pipe. Given the angels' strong military ties, protesters were viewed as enemies. By 1968, things got worse. At a topless pool hall in Redwood City, chaos erupted in the parking lot. Doug struck a deputy from behind, earning himself a brutal beating and a police dog attack that broke his hand. Still, Doug didn't learn. On January 29, 1969, Doug committed the act that sealed his legend. A minor traffic dispute escalated when Doug and fellow angels followed 21-year-old Earl Hudson to his home. They beat on the door. Hudson's wife hid in a closet. When Hudson tried to escape over the backyard fence, Doug allegedly shot him point-blank in the back with a shotgun. Surgeons later removed 47 pellets from Hudson's body. They also removed his gallbladder and parts of his liver, stomach, and intestine. Against all odds, Hudson survived, and he identified Doug. Facing attempted murder charges, Doug played his wild card. He pled not guilty by reason of insanity. Psychiatrists were divided. One doctor claimed Doug spoke of a ghost, his father, giving him instructions, even telling him to cut himself. Another doctor found no mental illness whatsoever. A third believed Doug was faking it. The court sided with insanity and sent Doug to Agnew State Hospital. That didn't last long. Within a month, Doug and 7 others sawed through window bars and escaped down a drainpipe. Hell's Angels legend says Sonny Barger himself organized the breakout to prevent Doug from receiving electroshock therapy, or worse, a lobotomy. Doug was eventually recaptured and found sane. He was sentenced to up to 19 years and sent to San Quentin just before his 24th birthday. Inside, Doug became exactly what the Yard feared most. He aligned with the Mexican Mafia, worked with the Aryan Brotherhood, paid business fees, ran contraband through prison events. But more than alliances, it was Doug himself, the toughest white boy on the Yard. In one attack, members of the Black Gorilla family tore a baseball-sized chunk from his calf muscle. Doug survived. No retaliation, just silence and a bigger legend. After parole, Doug attended a biker run in Sturgis, South Dakota. Witnesses said as he walked down Main Street, people moved out of his way. The street parted like the Red Sea. That's the level of fear his name carried. In 1985, Doug moved across the street from Sonny Barger in Oakland. Months later, the FBI launched Operation Rough Rider, targeting Hell's Angels nationwide. Doug was caught with a firearm. 6 years. Federal prison, Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Inside, Doug developed a heroin habit, strictly forbidden by club rules. On June 26, 1986, Doug overdosed alone in his cell. No conspiracy, no hit, just the end. Doug's death caused chaos within the Hells Angels. Some didn't want him buried with club honors. Others argued his legacy demanded it. On August 7, 1986, Doug was laid to rest at Evergreen Cemetery in Oakland, in the section reserved for fallen angels. He was 40 years old. Rumors still swirl. Fake deaths, welded cells, secret prisons. But maybe the truth is simpler. Doug Flynn Jr. was both a dream and a nightmare. A small-town swimming champion who became an outlaw icon. And a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters don't start out broken. They're made.